So one of the most important aspects of running ads on Facebook is understanding your data. And what that means is that your data is all the information that you're collecting. Because when you collect information and you're spending on ads, you're essentially buying data. So don't ever feel that you're wasting money or you're losing money. Because at the end of the day, you can never buy a true campaign, a true winning campaign. But what you can do is that you can build a campaign from scratch. All of my campaigns have came from building from scratch. Yes, we can swipe competitors' campaigns. Yes, we can see what's working in the industry. But at the end of the day, we have to test and we have to find those winning elements. We never know that is Android going to beat iPhone or is desktop going to beat Android. These are aspects of our campaign that we will never know unless we test. But we have to have a sufficient amount of data to actually optimize. You can optimize based off of geo, interest, ages, so many things that you can actually optimize. I'm going to show you the exact process that I take when I'm optimizing my campaigns. Let's dive right in. Now it's time to optimize Entrepreneur Affiliate Mastery, students. So I have a unique perspective on how I like to optimize. So I break it down very simple. So how does my audience react to my creative? For example, how are they reacting to the ad? Are they leaving angry faces? Are they engaging? Are they commenting with my actual posts? We need to be asking ourselves these questions when we start to optimize, because eventually we want to split test our actual ad copy. We can also split test so many different angles. In the order of how I actually build these split tests, I love to start with the winning lander. Now, for example, you're going to have an A and B lander. One lander is going to be the winner. So then what you can start doing is take the winning landing page and actually make a variation of the winning landing page. Now, offer is very critical. Now, for example, we've been going over the Palo Secret. Now, what if there's a Palo Diet and a Palo Secret? We can also split test and send traffic to Palo Secret and Palo Diet and see which one's actually going to be the winner with the also winning landing page. And then lastly, then we have the winning creative. What ad are we using to grab our audience attention off of Facebook and then transition them to our landing page and to our affiliate offer? Now, let's touch base on the winning lander. So we're going to go into my ClickFunnels account, and we see that we have this landing page here, which is an awesome landing page. It's just here to pre-sell the audience. Now, what I actually did is I made a split test. In the landing page module, I was going over landing pages and going over that you can actually use a quiz type of landing page. So I actually made a A/B landing page called the Book Opt-in Quiz. So the psychology behind actually creating a landing page like this is because it's built for women, because that's who I'm targeting on Facebook. But also, if a man would come, it also would work for him too. But it's just getting them to make micro commitments. So let's actually preview this. Find out exactly what diet and training is best for you. We will send you a custom book for free based off results. Now, the psychology of this actual funnel is that they're actually going to get a book, and that book is actually going to be the Palo Secrets. It does not matter how they answer. They will all end up in the same results, and they will all receive and get the same exact book. But it's the psychology of letting them know that their data that they're putting in is going to be working towards a custom book. But this is actually going to be a custom Palo book, which is tailored for broad audiences. So anybody can use these Palo books. So let's just assume that a woman was going through here. And as you see, I made the buttons big. On mobile, this also looks great. Also, it's mobile optimized. So it's for women. What is your age range? Teens, 20s. So this also works well for broad targeting. So for example, if we're targeting women between the ages of 35 and 65, they know that they can actually come here and feel comfortable. So let's just say the woman who comes here is in their 40s. So let's just choose 40s. Now, how active are you? Lightly active, moderately active, or very active? As they're choosing their questions, they're just making micro commitments, lightly active. Analyzing your results to send your free book. Now, guess what? We redirect to the affiliate offer. Now, setting up funnels exactly like this is the different from an affiliate who makes $10 to $20 a day versus an affiliate who makes $100 to $500 a day. Setting up split tests and being able to split test, because we never know how our audience is going to react to landing page A, and we never know how they're going to react to landing page B. But in my opinion, from all this experience, this landing page with the psychology of the small micro commitments for this free book is actually going to convert way higher than the actual other landing page. Now let's touch base on the winning offer. Now in your affiliate networks, you're going to have many offers to actually choose from. Now this offer is called Pay Low Secret. But what I want you to do is find a similar health offer that pays relatively the same. This offer pays out $1.40. So find another offer that pays $1.40 to $3. The same psychology, the same funnel that will actually work. One of them is actually going to convert higher. So for example, this Pay Low Secret may convert way higher with the actual mini quiz we give the customer versus the Pay Low Diet. That Pay Low Diet is not a real offer, but that's just for example. So you always want to be testing that. Now lastly, the winning creative. Now when we go into my business manager account, we see my Michelle May post. Now this picture, my audience was actually reacting perfect to this. They were engaging with it. I was getting likes, comments, and a lot of them clicking to learn more and engaging going through my funnel. So these are small aspects you have to be looking at before we start to analyze the actual stats and go into the micro numbers. So those are the first three aspects into actually optimizing your campaign. Ask yourself, is my lander converting? Is my offer converting? And how is my audience reacting to my Facebook ad creative? Now next, I like to break it down into small micro steps. My devices, my age, and my targeting. These are going to be the three biggest split tests that you actually do on Facebook. So this is exactly how I optimize my campaigns. So first I'll head over to my business manager. Now also when you go to your campaign, what you want to do is you want to open your tracker. You want to be looking at your ClickMagick stats. So we see here there's 1,693 unique clicks. So we want to be looking at all this data as we're optimizing, because if we don't have data, then we don't know, and if we don't know, we cannot scale. So now let's look at this data. So we saw Facebook, ad 1, image 1, 2 sales, 0.01. Now this is pretty awful. Now right here we saw that it says none, so most of these sales here are people coming directly to my fan page and actually engaging and then buying off of that. So now we see here ad 1, image 2 is actually crushing it. So let's actually take a look at this data now. Let's go to Facebook and let's actually dive into the ad sets. Now in terms of ad sets, pay very close attention because you see that I'm actually testing 3 different ad sets right here. I had tested the bodybuilding audience, I had tested the health and wellness, I also tested engaged shopper and Weight Watchers. Now when you set up your campaigns, you want to make sure that you're testing about 6 different ad sets. So for example, it can be Slim Fast, it can be Kim Kardashian, it can be at least 6 ad sets that you're actually testing. So now let's actually click into health and wellness ad 1. So we see this is my actual ad 1. So this is image 2, image 1, image 3, and you can actually see that by clicking edit. And then you can look at the actual URL parameters that I actually put in here. Ad 1, image 2. So image 2, I just named it to keep it very consistent. Then we can actually look right back on my ClickMagick tracking and see ad 1 and look for image 2. And then we see ad 1, image 2 actually brought me 25 sales. So how can I actually take this and actually build upon this? So we know that ad 1 is actually converting. So what we can actually do is we can even narrow into ad 1 because it's actually converting. So then what we can do is we can go back over into Facebook. We can take this actual ad set and then actually split test. We can take, for right now, this is targeting 35 plus women. What if we tested 35 to 44 and start split testing our age ranges? Then we can also split test the actual targeting, because we know that this actually has a winning creative, because this creative, this pancake image is resonating with the audience that we're actually targeting. So these are some small things to start thinking about as you're going through. Now, a couple other aspects that I like to do when I come to my campaign is I'll come over to the campaign level, choose the campaign that you're on, then you want to click on it. Then what you want to do is you want to come to breakdown. We can look at the data and see how our audience is actually responding to it based off of if you're targeting United States versus United Kingdom or Canada, or geos or devices. So that's what breakdown is for. Now columns is what you want to do. You want to change your columns to performance and clicks. Then we can see how much we're spending on our link clicks and start looking at the rest of the data. So now let's just scroll over to the right. So take a look at this click-through rate. Now the average click-through rate that I've noticed is anywhere from about 3 to 10%. If you have a click-through rate of about 1%, that means your image is not good. I would probably test more images. or more videos if you have a very low click-through rate. So now take a close look at your click-through rate. Now right now I have a 5%, almost a 6% on my click-through rate. So what you want to be shooting for on your click-through rate is about 5 to 10% is a good click-through rate. Now I've had click-through rates as high as 25%, but it really comes down to choosing the right image, testing different images, also even videos. You want to shoot for high click-through rates. The higher your click-through rate, the cheaper your cost per click is actually going to be. So these are some stats that you want to be looking at. Now a couple more stats you want to be looking at is your actual relevance score. So we see that my relevance score is a 7. So Facebook actually grades our relevance score on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being 0. Now if your relevance score is 5 and below, Facebook is going to charge you more. It's going to be more expensive because if your relevance score is 5, Facebook believes that whatever you're promoting to other people is garbage. That's them saying like, take that off of Facebook because if you're going to keep it, we're just going to keep taking you to the cleaners and taking all the money out of your bank and charging you more. So you want to make sure you have a high relevance score. Now also, I have had a relevance score of a 4 and still have been profitable, but it was very low ROI, roughly 15% ROI, so I had to kill it. So 7+ is where I aim to shoot for on my relevance score. So now keep in mind that's something you want to pay very close attention to. Now the next stats you want to go into, you want to know how much you're actually spending on these link clicks. So for example, different ages will actually cost you more. So performance and clicks, so we're in that tab. Now click on breakdown and go by delivery. And then what we can do is actually click on age because we know we're targeting all women. So now let's take a look here. So we see that ages 35 through 44, we're actually spending 22 cents on a link click. But then actually we see here, ages 55 through 64, we're actually spending 25 cents on a link click. But our click-through rate is almost double. So it seems that the older audience between 55 and 64 are actually reacting better to this actual ad copy and this actual pancake photo. So these are some stats that you actually want to look at. So then what I could do hypothetically, I could take this age range 55 through 64 and I could run a small test to target that audience specifically and to see if they make me conversions. So these are some micro tests that we can actually start doing and test that age group and see how it actually converts. Now let's also take a look. Now the next, I like to look at the country. So right now, I'm targeting the United States, but if you are targeting another geo such as Canada, you want to know how much am I paying for link clicks in Canada versus Australia or versus New Zealand. And also the offer actually has to accept that. So this offer only accepts United States traffic, so that's why we're targeting in the US. Now the next stats I like to look at is I like to come down and you want to come to placement and device. So this is why it's very important to actually choose where we're actually targeting. So for example, we are targeting all mobile on this campaign. I am not targeting desktop until I find the winning angles and I feel that it can convert from mobile to desktop because 9 times out of 10, desktop is going to be more expensive than mobile. So now let's actually take a look here that we see we're targeting Android. So we're targeting all mobile phones. So Android, we're spending 25 cents on a link click. So all of this is about the same, but we see iPads is 28 cents on a link click. Now let's scroll over to the right and we can actually look at the click-through rate. The click-through rate's relatively even through here. It's about 5% all the way through. So this is some stats that we can even look at. Now I do like to split test iPhone versus Android, and when I do each, I'll target iPhone and I'll target iPad, and then I'll keep Android and tablet and Android and smartphone. I'll just have 2 ad sets, just split testing that right there. Now the last important stat to look out in here is actually the gender, because if you're running broad and you're targeting men and women, you need to know which ages are actually bringing you the best results. What is your avatar? So this is Michelle May, an older avatar, which is a woman. So ideally, and weight loss is working well for women because based off of my audience insights and based off of spying and then researching. So that's exactly why I'm targeting women, but you never know. For example, men between the ages of 45 and 65 plus may bring me in 10-cent link clicks, but it still has to be tested. So keep these things in your head. This is what separates a beginner Facebook marketer from an advanced Facebook marketer. Coming in and actually looking at all this data and being willing to split test. For example, we see that we have 3 ad sets right here. have 6 ad sets, because one of those ad sets is going to be more profitable than the next ad set. So you always have to be willing to test and then optimize, look at all the data. So you're probably wondering now, how much should I actually be paying on my link clicks? How much should I be paying for video views or engagement? It really comes down to finding that audience and actually testing it. Because even though you're paying 10 cents on a link click, you may be more profitable paying 50 cents on a link click based off of the data that we see and based off of the tracking stats that we're looking at. So just make sure you have your ClickMagick tracking. You're looking at how much you're paying for iPhone and Android, how much you're paying for people who are 65 plus and people who are between the ages of 25 and 34, because you never know until you test it and look in your stats. So I'll see you in the next video.